Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Samuel Babatunde. He is a PhD candidate in environmental science at Western Illinois University, and he is from Nigeria. Thank you very much for being here with me, Samuel, and welcome.
Thank you, Timo. I appreciate you.
All right, so I had the opportunity to learn about you through my brother, who is also a PhD candidate at Western Illinois University doing environmental science. And I'm guessing you guys work along pretty closely, and he recommended that I speak to you about your experience as an international student. And I hope that our conversation today would kind of share some light into the opportunities that are available. And for someone who wants to do further research and, go further in their education, Samuel is a very good example of that. So Samuel, if you could first give me a little background of who you are and how you arrived at this point where you're actually pursuing a PhD in environmental science.
Yeah, thank you, Timo, once again. Um, I'm Samuel Babatunde. I came from Nigeria. Africa happens to be the largest black nation in the world with over 230 million population at the moment. I had my first degree and my master's degree in fisheries and aquaculture management from the first university in Nigeria, that is University of Ibadan. I major on aquatic ecosystem, marine biology, and sustainable fisheries practices. So over time, I have happened to work in both private and public sector. And during my work experience, I was able to contribute to aquaculture farms and fisheries enterprises. And also, I was able to implement some innovative strategies to enhance productivity and environmental sustainability. And at a point, I transitioned to public sector, in which I work with a private firm, and then we're mostly consultants to few states governments in Nigeria, Osun State, Ondo State, and at the time we work with Kwara State. So let me just quickly, for the sake of people who are not familiar with Nigeria, so that I will speak. Nigeria has 36 states, just like in the US we have 50 states, and they are divided into 6 geopolitical zones. We have the southwest, we have the south-south, we have the southeast, we have the northeast, northwest, and north central. So I happen to be from the southwest, and popularly known as the Yorubas. So I'm a Yoruba person by culture and by tribal, and our local dialect language is Yoruba. So going forward, after my work experience, that was when I currently a third year PhD candidate, likely said by Timo at Western Illinois, and my work encompasses environmental issues including water quality management, ecosystem conservation, and climate change adaptation. So let me just quickly talk about my personal attributes. From a very, 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 very humble background, uh, and that also helped to instill humility, perseverance, and empathy. Because despite all those obstacles along the way, I remained steadfast in pursuing my academic and professional excellence, and also my personal experience has shaped my compassionate approach to environmental science and driving to commitment to making positive impacts on the planet and also the lives of others. So that's just a bit. I don't want the whole day to be about me, so let's keep going. Thank you, Tom.
Well, Samuel, the thing is, this whole conversation is about you. So, because we do want to learn about your experiences and some of the things that
Okay.
you've done. So,
All right.
feel free to talk about yourself, huh? Right?
Okay. Thank
But
you.
yeah, so what I would want to maybe first talk about a bit more, because you talked a lot about your research and some of the academic stuff that you're doing, but I just kind of want to understand who you are a bit more. So you grew up in Nigeria, as you mentioned, but is there a particular time when you like initially said to yourself, you know what, I want to be an academic person who pursues a PhD, or I want to really delve into deep study and really do a lot of research and stuff? When did that start happening? When did that passion start happening?
Okay. It's a sincere platform, and I just have to be raw and be real. Uh, Actually, I at the onset I didn't plan of starting my PhD program now, because I do tell people until now it has not changed. I don't want to go into academics now. So this is the way I plan to picture how I want my career wise to go. Firstly, I want to go into business, and currently that was what I was doing even before I came to the US for my PhD program, to be in business and be established. And when I was in Nigeria, even most of my business work was not really into what I studied in my masters of undergrad. I was diversified. I was in agriculture. I was in engineering. I was in what's it called, in business world. I was in consultancy firm and the like. So I was able to put all things together, and that was what I planned. That even after my business, I want to go into politics. With the knowledge I have in business to go, then I want to retire in academics. So that by the time I'm in the class, I'll be able to talk from the aspect of business world, from the aspect of the administrative world in politics in class, so that my teaching will not just be theoretical, to be of based life experiences. So as time goes by, I was like, okay, if this is my time plan and my plan I had done, I don't have to stay long before I have the highest degree in academics, which is PhD, so that if I will not be too engrossed in business on politics, and by the time I'm not getting old, I want to go into academics. I might be, I might not have that much zeal to do that again, and it will affect what I've already laid as plans. So that was when I said, okay, fine, let me just go into PhD. And it will be, when I tell people most times, say, how come, it will amaze people that, to amaze you as well, that Western Illinois is the only university I applied for in the US. Because I just know at that time I was not like, okay, let me just apply. Okay, this is what I want to go into environmental science, because everything still goes around about environment, and looking at the sustainable development goal (SDG) goals, talk more about environment and how we can make our environment clean, safe, and safer for people. So I was like, okay, I saw the program in the school, let me just apply to this school, and I continue my business. I was not even thinking I've done the needful, but
That
when
you
the
would get
admission
accepted
come,
and everything?
yeah, exactly. So that was
Oh,
just
okay.
how the issue of a PhD came into being.
Okay, that's interesting because I would have never thought that you weren't someone who was, already planning on doing something like this. So it's pretty interesting that people can take different paths, but they can still end up doing what they are passionate about at the end. So it's not necessarily that you have to start in one place and just pursue that all your life.
No, exactly. The major thing is just for you to be focused, and also to have passion. Because in fact, the number one thing is passion. Because something that you are not personally passionate about, at the time you might sweep away, because there's nothing that comes easy, no matter what. So, but the passion that keeps you going, irrespective of what you are pursuing or you want to pursue.
Okay, okay. So you did your undergrad degree and your master's degree in Nigeria, right?
Yes, in Nigeria, from the
Right.
same school, University of Ibadan.
Okay. So why did you decide to come to the US to do your PhD? Why not just pursue your PhD in Nigeria as you did? Is there a particular reason or something that appealed to you?
Well, yes, there are many things that I look into consideration before I decide to, okay, let me come to the US to pursue my PhD program. Firstly, I was like, okay, my desire for interdisciplinary knowledge, and I was like, okay, for me to be able to, I've been able to interact with graduate people from different universities in Nigeria, and also I've had the opportunity to talk to a couple of friends that are doing their program in the US and some other countries like UK and Australia. And also, when looking at the in-depth of practicability and the technical knowledge, okay, let me just, and I always have desire that, okay, let me have this taste of knowledge of international experience in terms of academics, prowess, and the like. So that was one of the things that propelled me, that okay, I want. The other thing is that I want to go in depth into know more about the research and innovations that happens across the world, especially in the developed country like US. So also that was one of the then global perspective, and majorly also networking. Because if you say you want to grow far, you want to go well, you need to network and mix breed with people. So those are the key things that okay push me up. Okay, let me just go ahead and check it out. Just as I said, Western Illinois was the only university I applied to, but at least in the US, and let me check it out. And here we are, doing good and waxing stronger.
Okay. All right, that's great, man. And I think something that you mentioned there that is really crucial is that in the US, there's the opportunity for innovative research. There's the opportunity to go beyond just, what might be specific in your region. But the US is leading in a lot of research and a lot of things because a lot of other international people already come to the US. So you get the opportunity to network with people who you can research with and people that you can actually grow your ideas with. So, what would you say to students who might be thinking, well, you know what, maybe they have an undergrad degree and they're thinking of doing a master's degree or something like that? What would you say to them about these opportunities are available for networking and for broader research and innovative research?
All right. So first thing I will tell to people looking at continue their program, probably masters and PhD, is that number one thing is that firstly, don't believe that without you coming to the US, you can be successful. I want you to always have that one at the back of your mind. But also, another way around, coming to university in the US or other advanced country also is more of advantage than staying back. So it's two things now. Try then. It depends on what you want to pick. So firstly is that because coming down to I've not tested academics in other countries apart from Nigeria than US. So I will talk from the aspect of US. Um, Looking at the level of especially people in STEM now. Looking at the level of exposure you have to equipment, to professors that are top professors in the world, the knowledge they are sharing, your experience in the lab, you feed what it's more stronger even than your degree that you are going to earn at the end of the day. Because oftentimes the degree you have is just like a, I won't say a paper, but just like a document. It is what you have been able to gather all through the process that makes you and that speaks of you wherever you find yourself. So and all these things comes together from from starting from the environment, the economic environment you are learning, conducive environment, full with everything that you need, that a student needs to excel and to stand tall among his contemporary. You have it there in the US. Then also you have the opportunity to meet up bright students, like minds from other countries coming together. It helps to shape your academic acumen and your horizon because these people are coming from different learning perspective, culture and the like. Now coming together in the same environment, it's broadening your knowledge. So that's one of the advantage. And also being in the US, because they have their past record of things that you can walk through to make you a better person in terms of access to or materials that you need. Even the culture aspect of it is a knowledge on its own. So those are the things that I will always advise international students that if you have what it takes, you have a good grade and there's nothing stopping you from just taking your shot, and here you are, you will find yourself there and doing good.
Okay. So maybe let's talk a little bit more about your actual experience at Western Illinois. So yes, you've found very good professors. You've had really helpful classmates and people who you can work along with. I guess they call them colleagues that have done extensive work in other countries and are here now to do even more research and learn more about the areas that they're going to specialize in as a PhD. But there's also the aspect of every student, every international student, of just how welcoming the university is to international students with regard to scholarships, with regard to how much they would help you with things that you need to operate within your community. So finding a house, getting around, like all of these things. So could you just talk a little bit about the type of support that you've found at Western Illinois that is catered to international students?
Yeah, of personally, very first support, and I'm always grateful to God for such support is having a wonderful, cooperating, and a very ready to help advisor, because one of the major challenges, or maybe one of the major challenges for graduate students is when, especially in people in PhD programs, when you don't have an advisor that is ready to push you and ready to encourage you, because it is not easy. Just people that thinks probably coming to US or thinking it obviously back of mind, it is not easy. The tax is enormous. But when you have people that can give you an assurance that tomorrow will be good, people that can encourage you even when you are done, people that can talk to you even when you feel that you can't keep going. So that's one of the first things I enjoy so much, because I have a very wonderful advisor that make things so easy. And in fact, sometimes when we go to field work experience, sometimes it does work more than what I do. He's just ready to push you. So that's the first thing that I enjoy. Also, colleagues that are ready to, because this is my first time being in the US when I started my program. That was almost 3 years now. So, but I have people that have been here from since 10 years. Some people have born here. So, but they are ready to put me through the process, because if you think you know it all, then you are failing from the beginning. So you just have to learn from people that you met there and they passed through. Some people have their undergrad, the masters there, compared to you that are just coming for a PhD. So so having a wonderful colleagues, friends, probably might not be classmates, because some people they are master students, but you are doing some courses with them and the like. So what I'm saying, that interaction also helps. And one of the things that I always advise, or advise people that comes there after me, is that information is one of the things that can make you or mar you in the US. But not just information, having the right information per time. So that one also helped me to navigate the process very well. Then in terms of living, it depends on where you are schooling, and there are some schools that the accommodation the likes might be a bit stressful in settling, while some can come easy. So, but depending on whichever comes, whenever you are coming, one of the first things, just as I said now, information, ask questions. There are international organization platforms that one can reach. They will meet good people that will put you through. Ask questions. When you keep to yourself, you might be losing more. So, but I was able to ask questions. What I was not clear. I don't mind, even when it's there's not even out of stupid questions. There are also little sense. When the question is not really relevant, I ask, because especially me, when I'm alien to a new place, I want to ask questions. I ask every question, so that uh and the two things why I ask questions is that, one, for you to know the right part, then secondly, by the next time we are talking about, you will have something to say. Because someone like me, I want to contribute to everything, even if it's little. So, and that can make me to contribute. When I ask questions, I know more. So those are the things that help me in the beginning, and I still helping me, because I'm seeing the process. There are still new things that I see every day. Ask questions about it. How do you go about this? And how do you stop it? Issue.
I think added to what you're saying, a lot of the work that we do at Global Ed Recruiting is to help students who are thinking of making that transition to the US. And in that initial contact that we have with students, the first thing I do is I say, hello, thank you for contacting us. Do you have any specific questions you'd like to ask? First of all, because I want to know where the person's mind is. And then I may ask them a couple questions to kind of get some information so I can better advise them on what next to do and all of that. So what we do, it is really crucial because it helps to at least give students answers before they even get to the US. So it's important that certain things that you don't know, you know it before, so that it helps you to make that transition even easier. So asking questions, very, very, very critical. Yeah. So you've worked, you've done a lot. It seems when I listen to you, it seems as if you've done quite a bit of things. And sometimes people who are already working, they find it a little difficult to go back to the classroom or go back into school or to pursue another degree, for instance, because maybe they've worked and they felt content with where they are and stuff like that. So how was that transition for you, moving back from being independent, working, having money and all of that, to now move into a situation where you're on a student's budget? You might be working for minimum wage in some instances, not necessarily in your case, but students who come back to school, it's kind of tough financially. How was that for you?
Well, thank you so much. That's I it's something that was challenging at the moment. Been challenging when I first started because, just as you said, I was working, making what's it called, good money at least in my own classification when I was in Nigeria. I am now coming down here. Okay, let me quickly share a little experience if you don't mind. I when I got to the US, I think my third week, then Dave, who happens to be your brother, who is my colleague, it took me to I wanted to go to DMV to register. DMV is just Department of Motor Vehicles in where you register for a license, just for in case of people that don't know what I mean by DMV. So he took me there and he dropped me. Then I don't have a car, just to go and make inquiry. So by the time I'm done, he has left. I was thinking that I'm going to go through bus back to my place. Not knowing that I went to as another city that I was that the bus stations is different. So I was waiting that bus will come and the likes. Within 20 minutes I was still trekking. Then it began to rain, and I was like, "What's going to happen?" I was just walking. I tried for almost 30 minutes inside the rain. I was drenched. At that moment I don't know where tears started rolling from my eyes. I was like, and I have a car sitting there in Nigeria. So so it's yeah. I was just like and well, just like well, I want to advance. When you want to progress, it comes with its own sacrifice. So I was able to motivate myself, and I keep moving. So just back to your questions, I it's not easy balancing work and study because even while I was still here, I was still doing some work that I can do remotely here in the US just to make us. I have a family, so it's not something that I'm alone. You have to take care. You can't say because of you are doing PhD, you need to neglect the family. No. So balancing work and study was a bit taxing, but I was able to set my realistic goals and also to maintain a structured schedule that I'm able to manage my demands effectively. So and also I was able to that okay this time around I'm back to class, so I need to let my brain also my body spirit and soul be ready that no this time around you are here for work and it's not just like PhD basically is solution solving enterprise because it's not about what you study. Even when you are done, is going to ask. Some people don't even ask what do you study or where you study. We have this problem. How can we help us solve it? Because you are deep in knowledge. So at that moment, and your systems, your thinking faculty has to be fully at work before you can be able to develop problem solving skills. So that was some things I was able to okay now this time around it is for growth and development, so I have to embrace it with whatever comes with it. So there are the things that make me and I was like, oh, and I'm still building with it. I'm still working, though it might not be as where I was still working from home, some jobs that I think people need wanting to do that I can do remotely. No, but I was able to I keep balancing it because we are still in the job we are still in the sojourn.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I know that definitely is going to be a challenge for people who might be thinking about doing advanced degrees and they've continued working or they've had that experience. No, sometimes it maybe bolsters your ability to actually adapt to the situation as a PhD student because our PhD candidate, because ultimately your work experience can be used in your studies and you can use it to actually advance what you're doing in terms of your research and stuff. But it could be a challenge just knowing that you had a car as you said or you had money before but now you don't, so I know that could be a challenge. Just on a lighter note though, how do you like the weather at Western Illinois?
Well, I remember the first time I went on a field work in February 2022. Myself, did my colleagues, I was almost almost passing out because we were taking sample and the temperature was I was just told my advisor, sir, I'm dying. He was like, no sir, just go inside. So I went to the car, turned on the oil, but the code is but lo and behold now I'm even at temperature of 18, 19, I might be on Ranek because now I'm getting used to it. But
No,
at the
that's
onset,
good.
it was, and that's why I always tell people, even my younger ones that came there after, I said, don't worry, you'll get used to it. And now they also, so it's normal. But at the onset, it was because coming from Africa, that the highest temperature we could have is probably 50. in a
Okay.
whole year. So
Yeah.
now coming to a place where some, especially in Chicago, sometimes you have negative fire rate, and it can be so. But as time goes on, we know that we are here and we are doing good with it. So, but it was quite challenging at the very onset.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things about international students is that we can adapt. We find ways to work around the challenges, and we're open to experiencing something different in a lot of instances. That's why we chose to come out here. And like you, I'm from the Caribbean, so imagine me being from the Caribbean and being in this type of weather. It was definitely something that I had to cope with, you know. So yeah, yeah. But go ahead.
And just to buttress your point, for international students, I always tell people that where you come from, where it's not convenient, you don't have a conducive learning environment, and we excel. Believe it me, it's a bonus for international students coming to the US. You excel more with ease because we are able to put through even where it was not convenient, where sometimes even to read, sometimes we have to use lamp, there's no light. Sorry to say, in my country Nigeria, there's no 24 hours power supply. Even sometimes in the lab work, the light may be put out, but we're still able to navigate it and survive. So it's an advantage to coming to this environment. That's why most of international students are doing good, excelling well in various universities and various courses across the United States. But that is just like it's a bonus to us over the domestic student.
Yeah. Yeah. So for those of you who might be listening, let's say you're in the Caribbean, you're in Nigeria, you're maybe one of the countries in Africa, even though your situation might be a little different in terms of lack of resources, or you may not have the exact same things that the domestic students have, it doesn't mean that you're a bad student. It doesn't make you a bad student. And in most instances, it makes you an even better student. So think about it. Don't feel discouraged, and keep dreaming and wanting to pursue your dreams, and keep thinking about what you want to do with your life and what you want to achieve. So Samuel, what is your plan for like overall in terms of career opportunities or the fields that you want to pursue or go into? Is there a particular thing that you have in mind that you really want to do, or is it at this point you're just hoping to kind of like find your way along as you go? Do you already have that planned out as to what you want to do next?
Yeah, I already have the plan, and I'll just share a bit with. First, when I'm done with my PhD program, which I have just probably a year more to be done by God's grace.
Almost there. Almost there.
Almost there, almost there. So it's to go into fully into a business. Currently, I have a business. I have a company that is owned by a US citizen also. His name is Scott Becker. I'm Sam Babatunde. So the business is called SBZ because we both share the same initial SB. So the business is just about processing cassava into ethanol.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a business that's established in Nigeria. I took him to Nigeria, and that's another thing that I can tell international students. You can become whatever you wish to become. You can be here and took Biden to your own country, either Canada and the likes. Depend.
Yeah.
Just keep dreaming and keep pushing. Whatever. I took him to, and he's a 51 years old guy, and he has never been to Africa. He has never lived US before. I
Okay.
took him to Nigeria, and that was in 2020. So I have a business that is ongoing. So I want to go back and build on it, and also good enough is in line with what I'm studying at the moment. Because when you say cassava processing, you have to look at the environmental impact assessment. Is it eco-friendly to the environment? Does it have any hazardous effect to people in the immediate community? So all those things are things that we are doing, and these are things that I'm learning or I've learned. So that is one of the things I remember. The secondly is that I want to be an environmental consultant,
Okay.
to work and be a environmental to work with government agencies or businesses or non-profit organizations, just to provide my expertise on environmental issues, regulatory compliances, and also sustainability practices. So that's one of the things that I aim at, probably United Nations, World Bank, just to because everybody now, in fact, the last year United Nations conference was about uh, water problem, because water is one of the major problems facing the whole world, and they are looking at how do they want to look at. Some people they have it abundance is causing flooding. Some people it's causing drought.
Yeah.
So how do we balance it? And one of the funny thing that she said is that the water that is in the hole. Sorry, now I'm going to my field, but just to explain to you, the water in the whole world is enough to cater the whole, but it is not uniformly distributed.
Right, right.
So how do I currently now California they are having challenges of water problem. In fact, it's why one of once myself and Dave and one of our advisors were working on okay how to mitigate water problem. So at least that to be a consultant and also to be a researcher when it be. In my combine we can just okay Sam we need you maybe 3 weeks or 3 months research on this so that my uh, career but majorly is to focus on my business and to grow with it alongside.
Well, those songs that's very ambitious plans, and I definitely wish you all the best with whatever you choose to do. I know that you'll definitely be doing great things, and I look forward to seeing that in the future, for sure. And I think a lot of what you're doing is very noble in terms of your, as you said, you do environmental science, but you do it with justice in mind, like making sure that everyone is equally benefiting from the environment. And I really appreciate everything that you've done. Yeah. So just to wrap this conversation up, is there any advice particularly that you'd like to offer to international students who might be thinking of coming to the US or might be thinking of pursuing higher education? What would you say to them? That one bit of
Yes,
advice.
I will just atomize my advice and put it. Firstly, is that when start early and plan ahead. So once you know that okay, fine, because not all of us will go into what's it called? We go into academics of them. But once you know that okay, no, fine, I want to pursue an higher degree, start early, plan ahead, begins to look at various courses you want to do in different schools in the US. These people are good, and what I've learned a lot about US is that they respond to mail, send mail. Even when even, and funny is that
Yeah.
even when you ask stupid questions, well, you're
Yeah.
from Africa now. Sometimes because people will even insult you. What kind of question is that? But it's not yet. It's not yet. Ask any questions you are not clear with. You will see a very concise and definite answers to them. So start early and plan ahead. And also once you look at the some admission requirements that are not clear to you, try to ask questions on it. The financial planning, I always tell, it is not easy, and we have to be very sincere to ourselves. It is not easy when you come to the US to sponsor yourself. So as much as one can to get, even if it's not fully funded, partial scholarship, it goes a long way. So I always advise. So check schools that they have funding rates, and you know that I know you can meet up. Then, as I said earlier, start early. Sometimes some people submit the application late, where probably consideration for funding assistantship has closed. So don't drag. And just as I mentioned when we started our conversation, is that when you have passion for things, your passion will drive you. So your passion will drive you even beyond what you think as a, and when you feel tired, your passion will keep you going. So also understand the cultural adjustments. Start planning ahead where you're going, what are the cultural differences, so that if you have this thinking ahead, when you get here it's will fine, it might still be a bit shocking, but it won't be as if when you have not even thought of it or planned about it. And also start building a support network. When I say support network, is that okay, seek out for resources and support services, just like global aid recruiting agencies is doing. Ask questions, they will support you, and they will link you up, and they will be able to put you through. And the last thing I will say is that, which is the very first thing, stay informed. Information is key. Stay informed and try to update changes, try to look about the regulations, the policy that's going on, university policy affecting international students and the likes. When you have all these things together, I'm sure by the time you are even reaching out to global aid, they will probably 2 days they will still be solving your question, because you don't know this person has researched and
Yeah.
is well informed. So stay
Yeah.
informed, ask questions, and research more. And I wish you all the best.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that information, and I really appreciate you sharing time with us today to talk about your experience. And we look forward to having another conversation sometime when you do those big
Definitely,
things in the
definitely.
future.
I will. Maybe when I'm done with my program, I'm doing well. Okay, this guy came last time, now he's done and he's doing well his business. So definitely, I'll be glad to be back.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Samuel, and I hope you have a great day. And thank you very much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you, Timo. I
All
appreciate
right.
you.
Thank you.